Congress comes to NASA's rescue. Believe it or not. Amazing.
Evil must be punished.
Alright, this is from Houston Chronicle again. Fueling NASA. Increase funding for manned spaceflight necessary to maintain U.S. leadership in a vital endeavor. Copyright 2007, Houston Chronicle, blah, 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 blah. October 6, 2007, 4:32 p.m. In a welcome bipartisan move, the U.S. Senate approved an additional $1 billion in funding to spend on NASA's development of the next generation of spacecraft to replace the shuttle fleet that will be decommissioned in 3 years. U.S. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison of Texas is a leader in the effort that would boost space agency funding to $18.5 billion in the next fiscal year. In a reference to the development race with China to return humans to the moon, Hutchison hailed the voice vote as a major step in the right direction to ensure that America stays at the forefront of being first in space. Unfortunately, the Bush administration opposed the increase, and a spokesperson indicated he would likely veto any large increase in the NASA budget. The administration recommendation is $17.3 billion. U.S. Senator Barbara Mikulski, a Democrat of Maryland, predicted the Senate would vote to override a presidential veto, something that has not yet happened during Bush's 2 terms. The NASA money is part of a package that includes funds for anti-crime measures and grants for state and local police, measures that have widespread congressional support. So now get this, ladies and gentlemen. Get this. Alright? NASA will actually get more money than the fucking spotted owl for a change. And for those of you who don't know, the spotted owl got $140 million. Okay? So NASA gets $1 billion. So we actually get more money than the spotted owl this time. I say we in a colloquial type environment. NASA actually gets some decent cash to kind of boost themselves. I was shocked. I mean, we got bipartisan support here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Democrats and Republicans agreeing on this shit. Nobody wants to be last. I mean, that's it. I mean, come on. This makes sense here. We don't want to be last, all right? We don't want to be the last ones to the moon. Now you say, well, what happens if we are last to the moon? Well, if we're the last ones to the moon, we don't get no helium-3. No helium-3, we don't get to leapfrog to Mars. Whoever gets to the moon first, gets people down there, and starts pumping the helium-3 out of the ground, wins. Okay? And it looks like China, Japan, and every other body that can throw a rocket in the air is getting there before we are. But without the helium-3, you can't leapfrog to Mars. Okay? You got to have that helium-3 to get to Mars, and that's the whole thing about this, man. So whoever gets on the ground, on the moon, first, and pumps the helium-3 up into canisters and uses it for fuel to leapfrog to Mars, they're the ones that win. Okay? So this is crunch time here. It's like you guys in football. It's crunch time here. We have to put people on the moon, and we have to extract the helium-3 and use it in rockets that will get us to Mars first. That ain't the way I like it, but that's the way it's currently set up, okay? So, of course, in the meantime, I would be building spacecraft that can fly on ion engines and just go straight from Earth to Mars and say fuck it. But what can you do? But anyway, so this is welcome, and now we finally got wide bipartisan support on this damn thing. Bush wants to veto it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't get it, man. Maybe I'm missing something somewhere, but I'm not getting this shit. Alright? I mean, Bush is a globalist. We all know he's a globalist. So why in the hell is he so bad about this, man? You think Bush would want us to win, right? You know, being the American president and all. You think Bush would want us to get to the moon first and extract the helium-3 and then go on to Mars, but I don't know, man. Seems like he ain't too keenly interested, is he? See, we got to go for the next 5 years. Once the shuttle is decommissioned, we'll have to rely on the Russians just to get up into space. Well, that's nuts. That's just insane. You know, we have the technology, and these old satellites, instead of letting their orbit decay and shit, why don't we use the last few remaining shuttle flights to bring some of them older satellites, weather satellites especially, back to Earth? And I don't know how many satellites the shuttle can store. I guess 2 or 3. But have them capture those old satellites, bring them back, fit them on an old Delta rocket or some shit, some little cheap piece of shit rocket, send them out towards Mars and let them sit there and I mean, can you imagine turning on the Weather Channel and seeing the weather on Mars? Wouldn't that be cool as hell? I think it would be. Plus, it would be beneficial for us. But you know, throwing rockets up towards Mars that's got you know, mirrors on it. We need to have mirrors orbiting around Mars right now so that it can reflect some of the sun's heat and warm Mars up a little bit so that terraforming can start taking place. Now, Mars is heating up naturally all by its lonesome, but now for terraforming purposes. But we can make this happen, man. We can make this happen. We need to mass produce shit. See the problem. The reason everything's so damn expensive is because it's prototype here, prototype there, single item here, single item there. I mean, you know, how many rovers do we have? Well, we only have 2. Well, that's why they're so damn expensive. See, you mass produce shit, the price comes down. Okay, that's just common industry knowledge, you know. So we need to mass produce spaceships that are reasonable, that can ferry supplies, parts, and even humans back and forth between Mars and Earth on a regular basis. We need to get started on that shit now. Now is the time to actually start on that shit. Not wait around for years and years and years. We need to start doing that shit now. We need to get mirrors up on or in orbit around Mars to reflect the sun. Yeah, you ever take a magnifying glass and fry a bug when you was a kid? You know, if you haven't, you've at least seen it or heard about it. Okay, well, that's the same thing. All right, if we put a little mirror, it doesn't have to be a big mirror. It doesn't have to be no big costly shit. Just a little mirror. Put it up there in orbit around Mars, and it'll reflect the sun's heat and light down on Mars. And you know, just like you take a magnifying glass to a bug, man, it'll warm Mars up like no tomorrow. We get that water flowing, get it coming up out of the ground, just like in that movie Total Recall, man. Blue sky on Mars. It can happen. We can do it. We can make it happen. But now is the time we need to start on that shit. Not piss around, you know, and let China get there first and shit. No, screw that. Okay, we can do this. We can make this happen. But you know, if we sit around and do nothing, man, we ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. And whoever gets that helium-3 on the moon, they're the ones that win, man. And whoever gets there to the moon last gets no helium-3 at all. Okay, that's just the way it is. The helium-3 on the moon, as far as I know right now, is limited. And whoever gets there first and pumps the most of it out of the ground is the ones that's going to be able to leapfrog to Mars. And we'll get stuck behind, literally get left behind on the moon. And that's not fun. All right, so we need to step up here. We need to step up, make this shit happen. But I'm shocked that Bush, the globalist, is going to veto the funding for NASA. That I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. Whose side are you on, George? Shit, man. You know, this is about America. This is about winning. You know, you want America to win, don't you?